Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to episode 35 of Party Wipe. We're making a roguelike deck builder where you draft an RPG party. Hey, Rhiannon. Hey, Rimas. How's it going, y'all? All right. Sorry, I have an apple that I cut up. Enormous apple. Still working on it. I'll try to minimize the amount of apple crunching sounds. I gotta go to the dentist after this, so you know. It's one of those things. It's like if you gotta go visit a vampire, you eat a bunch of garlic. If you gotta go visit the dentist, you eat an apple, right? That's just common survival skills, right? And then tonight, I'm going to see the Odyssey, and I'm very excited. All right, what did we do? What did I do last night? Last night, I got the move act button row. I'm just calling it the move button row, as opposed to the menu button row. Hey, LSG. How's it going? So we got a new button row in the game. Gotta hook it up. But it's here. I think it's fine. I think the arrows ended up being very minimal. I simplified them a little. I think if anything, what I need to do is take the arrows out of this turn order header thing. Probably. Maybe. I haven't decided. I just don't want to use the same graphic to mean different things. Originally, I was thinking about having the arrow be the end turn button. But I kind of like this. I think this turned out reasonable. It's a little weird how the move button collapses into the act button, but I think the final shape that it creates is very pleasing. It's like a very regimented step. So I think aesthetically it's fine. There seems to be a little bit of room left over at the top, so I might spread the buttons out a little more, but maybe not. Yeah, I think it's all right. And then the idea is that, well, these would be disabled right now. So there's one more thing we have to set up with these, which is a conundrum, because the menu bar button works because the menu button is never disabled. So undo and redo are like, it's okay to have them be like kind of behind the button like this. And then like, if we play a card, now I can undo. And if I've undone, now I can redo. And like, that's all fine. And then they can all be available too, where I could play another card. And then I can undo, and now they're all available. So there's many states of these buttons, but ultimately the menu button is always available. So if I end the turn, they go back to being disabled. But the menu button is still there. The move button doesn't have that. The move button doesn't have that reality. The move button and the act button could both be disabled. Like if you are out of moves and out of actions, both of these buttons should be disabled. I do like the kind of the visual flow of this right-facing arrow followed by this down-facing arrow. I feel like it kind of guides you of like, okay, I move, then I act, and then I end the turn. And if I need to do any extra stuff, you've got some extra optional stuff down here. And I think it works okay. I like our little tab button thing. I appreciate everyone saying hi to everyone else in chat. It's pretty funny. That's always funny anytime that's done in anything. Like, I think about the beginning of Star Trek V, when Bones and Spock and Kirk are all camping, and they do that. They do the like everyone says goodnight to everyone else shtick. Very funny. You'd think it wouldn't be weird, or it wouldn't take a long time, but they managed to make that very funny. I feel like almost unintentionally. But yeah, so a couple things we need to do. We need to disable the move button if we don't have any moves. We need to disable the act button if we don't have any actions. We need to test the disabled. We need to test what it's like when they're both disabled. I think what I'm going to do if they're both disabled is have them be independent. I'm going to have them not be like connected to each other like this. They'll be just two standalone buttons. I think that's a little weird, but I think visually it'll be all right. But we're going to do that. Mainly because I don't feel like doing any substantial work today. You can tell when I don't want to do real work, when I'm just like, all right, we're going to work on some buttons. Because the substantial work we have to do is to actually sort out our equipment and give it like tags and stuff so that we actually know what to do when a button is equipped. Not a button. When a piece of equipment is like being used for like an action or whatever. Still haven't settled on what to do with this upper right button, if I should do anything. I might color it like this and just leave it as empty space. I don't know. Actually, you know what we probably could do is we could probably curve this around and make this part the same as this. That could be neat. So if I wrote act here, it would be clear that the action is like this part. But then it's like, well, what about passive effects? And I don't know. I don't know the answer. I haven't figured this part out yet, and I don't want to deal with it. So we're going to work on buttons. We're going to work on these hooking up these buttons so that it's more obvious to the player how they interact with things. Appreciate the slapstick humor, Remus. Hope everyone's having a good day today. I stayed up too late last night working on these dumb buttons. It should have been easy, but I was in like a co-working meetup, so I was just yapping the whole time anyway. I was yapping, watching sumo, eating dinner. So what we need to do here, so we have different button disabled states. So we have toggle act button disabled and toggle move button disabled. So it's going to be somebody's job to do this. I'm not quite sure whose job. Somebody's job. It's probably going to be the character manager, if I'm being honest. That's what I do for the menu buttons. It's like the save manager is the one that calls down to do this. So if I wanted to do that, could maybe do some signaling. The trick is we need to start recording whose turn it is. Which is part of why my sandbox is so bad for testing this stuff, is because it doesn't actually respect the flow or progression of how the game actually works. It's just a sandbox. So it doesn't have a concept of like whose turn it is, and it really can't based on the way that it's constructed. So we're just gonna do this kind of arbitrarily. You know, maybe we don't really hook it up. Maybe we just kind of fake it. I don't know. We could fake it with signals, or we could do this. We could do this character manager thing. Hey, Fender. Rhiannon, you're doing much better today. The night before yesterday, you were in a brain fog all day. That's fair. Back to normal. Good, good. Sumo, cool. You haven't really watched since Hakuo Show retired. Yeah, I'm still pretty new to it. I watched the May Grand Sumo. I think Wallaber introduced me to it during a raid to Midnight Sumo, and it's just a nice thing to have on in the background sometimes. I usually don't stay up late enough to catch the top division stuff. Hey, did you create the font for your game? I did not. I did not. The font that we are using is called... Let me find it. I think it's called Nightwood. Yes, it's called Nightwood. Definitely feel free to use it, you know? Just don't make a breakout hit game with it before me. All right, so we're working on our move and act buttons here. We're doing something just easy today. The overlap is kind of weird, the way it works at the edges. Kind of weird. Works better here than it does on the other button, I think. Move button's a little bigger, which maybe helps. All right, I'm going to test the different disabled versions of the buttons. He was a unit. Yeah, my boy Wakataka Kage is out this tournament with a major injury, like possibly a career-ending injury, which is very sad. Hoping he makes it. He makes it out and back in. But it's been a good tournament for us. The foreigner, the foreign hope, Alan Ishki, is doing really well. I haven't caught most of their matches. I actually only caught one of his matches and he lost, but he's gone like 10-1 or something like that. Incredible run. Kirishima's doing pretty good too. I like it. You don't think this should be a concern? Only your brothers play your games. Hey, if you can get your brothers to play your games, you can probably get anyone, right? I can't imagine a more critical audience than your brothers. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap in these different textures here. All right. So I made solo versions of the buttons, standalone. And I think what we're going to do, since both of the buttons can be disabled, we'll switch to a standalone version if both of them are disabled. And now I have to work out the exact mechanics of how that will work, but it's fine. I don't think we have a way of testing it really right now, but I'm going to try testing the layout just to make sure the layout is okay. That is not how this should work. I thought I told it to line right. Alignment. End. That is going to... Oh, the custom minimum size isn't being updated. I hate that. I hate that so much. We originally didn't use HBox containers because we couldn't figure out how they would... by what mechanism they changed their thing. And it's totally by custom minimum size. Which is whack because custom minimum size isn't even... Oh, this is the wrong entity. Oh no, it's not even set. So like, So dumb. I have to do this manually. And watch, it's not even gonna update. Ugh. I actually think changing size in editor works, but if you're at runtime, changing size does not work. So why is size grayed out? It can't be changed. Okay. Okay. That's probably because of how this is set up. Okay, so this literally can only be tested in code. That's frustrating, but doable. What it should look like is like, oh, I literally can't even show it because it just won't let me. Okay. Well, we'll try something. We'll try something else. We'll try another way to demonstrate this. Very frustrating. Let's set these back to the way they were. It's one of many reasons why I hate control nodes. I'm biased against control nodes. I think they're just... It's like, what am I, a web dev? Nothing against web devs, but I am not one. All right, how are we going to manage this? I guess what we're going to have to do is have like a hooked up a, like we'll have to hook up a ready function that like engages this. It's gonna be kind of annoying. Are all the disabled buttons actually set up here though? Good, okay. So we have a script that like manages these and that'll be fine. We're having to mock it up. Watch it, bud. Don't badmouth the career you have zero emotional stake in. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. My partner's like a master of graphic design now, with like their focus in terms of what they think they're gonna be able to get paid for is like maybe like UI UX stuff, and they're constantly like, why is the tooling so bad for web devs? And I'm like, that's a great question. Like, why do they tolerate this? You can say that about a lot of areas, a lot of technical areas. But it's funny. It's funny to hear it from someone who's like a very professional artist who's like coming to the field kind of brand new. Very funny. In the JS world, the tooling is constantly being reinvented. Yeah, it's insane. It's like, it's almost like a joke now. It's like, there's a new framework every minute. I think something happens anytime anyone starts talking about UI, and it just totally destroys their ability to do things. It's like the joke about how Unity has like 3 different UI solutions, and rather than fix their old solution, they just like to make a new one. I don't know if that's still true, but I bet it is. All right, I'm going to struggle to be productive today, but we're going to do it. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll have a ready function that we can just use for testing here, because I just want to see what happens when we put both buttons in the disabled state. So we'll disable them. We will update their custom minimum size. Actually, let's do this way. Act button dot disabled dot texture disabled. Here, we can do this in this order, I think. Texture disabled equals act button disabled solo. called a like double disabled or something. There's new frameworks, bundlers, package managers. You have no idea how many bundlers and package managers you've used over the years. Hey, Arneo. Think you'll use the stream as background for a cleaning project? Nice. Yeah, we aren't really... I don't think we're going to get very much done today, but we're gonna do our best here. I'm really just counting down the hours here until I have to go to the dentist. And then I'm really counting down the hours until tonight when I can go watch The Odyssey, which I'm very excited for. Alright, this should be fine. And well, we just swap the Z index. And we do the same thing for the move button. I seemingly can't test this in the editor, so we're just going to test it in a ready function. Hey, David. How's it going? Happy Thursday. Okay, so we're in rough shape here. We're in rough shape here because HBox container is not playing nice. Why is it not? Act button disabled solo.get size. Move button custom size equals move button disabled solo.get size. Disabled is true. Custom minimum size is supposed to be the thing that makes this work. And, more specifically, the alignment is supposed to be at the end. Child controls will be arranged at the end of the container. End of the container. Let me see if there's any other. Maybe we need shrink. Maybe we need to set the expandability to like shrink or something. Let's see what we got going on here. No, there's no difference. Well, it was working, so why is it not now? More specifically, it's worked in another context. Well, I'm not having much of a procedure. It's just a cleaning, but thanks, Arneo. I do hate the dentist. I don't hate my dentist. My dentist is great. I hate the dentist. I hate the idea of the dentist. David, you're going through computer withdrawal. New computer on Tuesday. Ooh, nice. You'll make it. Go touch grass or whatever. I don't know. Whatever people do without a computer. Or live vicariously through us. So is there something I've done here that's wrong? What if I do all of this and then disable it? I'd finally come to terms with like HBox container, and now it's just like absolutely the worst. What if I don't disable this one? What if I only disable one of them? What do we get? Okay, so it works here. It works if I do this. For some reason, its initial position just is absolutely nonsensical. Why? I know this doesn't totally work, but it should jump to this. So what if we set this to like the normal? Is there something just absolutely strange? No, the texture is the right size. It's not like we're messing that up. What if I set you to be default? Like this. Okay, so yeah, there's actually some sizing issue. That's a problem. It makes it very clear that that's what it is. Some kind of sizing issue with the move button. Okay, we can work with that if we can figure out what it is. Move button dot custom minimum size is move button disabled solo dot get size. What is move button disabled solo dot get size? Probably a good way to start. If it's some crazy big number, nope, it's totally right. Okay. What is move button disabled dot custom minimum size? It should be the same. It's correct. I hate HBox containers. I hate all control nodes. Hey, Sapphire. As soon as I think I know how they work, they're like, nope. I know the buttons are set correctly. Insofar as these are the right textures. It's weird that if we opt not to do it with this one, we do this still, it jumps to the right place in this case, but for some reason, this makes me think that there's some edit time issue here. Or there's some issue with their initial state that I don't know what to do about. Let's see. What if I set this to be their texture normal? Will that give us the right behavior? Nope. What's happening on mouse enter that is causing this to be correct? Move button dot texture normal is move button tab left. Move button custom minimum size equals move button tab left dot get size. Yeah. Oh no, that's the move button. Act button dot custom minimum size equals act button dot texture hover dot get size. Yeah. I think the problem was with the move button, not the act button. Some issue with the move button here. So what if I do a couple of things here? What if I say move button dot texture normal equals move button tab left? And then what if I say your minimum size? What if it's this tab left? What if it's your actual texture.tab left size? Let's see if that does it. Okay, that does it. So you can update the custom minimum size of the texture button, but if it's not the same as the texture size as the normal texture, regardless of whether the normal texture is the one being displayed, I think it just changes the custom minimum size back to the normal texture size. It's annoying. So there's an additional thing we're going to need to do here then, which is to, if I want them to be separate, which I kind of do, well, maybe I don't. So there's a convention by which the button hides itself if it's disabled. That's the convention I use for the undo redo, is that like these aren't clickable and they aren't expandable. But I don't actually like the aesthetic of collapsing the disabled move button down. I don't like how this looks. I mean, I would add a gap here is what I would do. If I was actually going to do this, I would update the gap here to be like, where is it? Where's the stupid? That's the wrong button. Here's your stupid offset. I would change the offset to be like this. Something like that. I don't know if I like that, though. Maybe that's okay. So that might be the way it looks like if they're both disabled. What do we think? The alternative is to have the move button stay there, but be disabled. We could have another button or something that says like done. I don't think I like the word done, but I'm thinking about like what would a 4-letter word be? I guess this looks okay. I think it's kind of weird for the buttons to separate just when they're in this state, but not be separated in any other state. What if we tried this? What if instead of the solo, what if instead of doing this, we tried what would this look like? Oh, active update. This. I think I prefer this. I think it's a little weird, but I think you would understand what this meant. It means there's like nothing else to do but end the turn. I think I like that better than the separate. That way we don't have to mess with changing the HBox container constraints or whatever. I can get rid of this idea of the solo disabled button. Who has a reference to this? You do. You do. I think I like that better. I still don't think I love it, but I think I like it better. Because then our button disable function, it doesn't need to be as complicated then. Normally it'll look like this. And so what'll probably happen is you'll probably do your move. The move button will get disabled. Then you'll do your action. The action button will get disabled. Then they'll both just be disabled. I think it's okay. I don't think it's like brilliant, but I think it's okay. I think it's believable. Hey, Terrace. Tara? How's it been? Wait a minute. So if disabled, we gotta do some stuff. If not disabled, I don't think we need to do anything. Actually, do we need to do anything? This is actually a much simpler case, I think. Here, I think what we do is this. I think we say if disabled and not move button dot disabled, then we need to do something. Because in that case, we need to do this. In fact, what we should do. Here, let's nest this actually. We actually need to do something like this. Move button custom minimum size equals move button, not texture hover. What we want to do, if Not move button. We need to reassign the texture for one thing. Texture normal equals move button normal. We actually don't need to record these disabled textures anymore. Move button normal. Move button normal dot get size. So here, if not act button dot disabled, do the same thing here, but for the act button. Act button dot texture normal equals act button normal. That's the minimum size. Whoop. Yeah, we'll probably try to hook up the act button and the move button today as well. Move button mouse exited. I don't think we need to do anything for that one. Is that even still, is that signal even hooked up? It is. Disconnect that. Get rid of this. Sapphire, you're kind of thinking that you have to do something similar to what I'm doing on your stream. Switch focus to smaller projects. Treat them somewhat like Jam James. Jam games. I'm really feeling like you bit off more than you could chew with your main project. You've barely done anything with it too. It doesn't help that you haven't been able to really figure out an idea of what the game would completely look like or what the main loop would be. I think you just need some smaller projects, getting some completed projects on your belt. No, yeah, go for it. Go for it. You don't have to make it an actual jam, right? You can just treat it as a jam. Although I would certainly encourage actual jams, because I think the actual pressure helps. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Hey, GMTK started, like, yesterday. There's a few days. There's a few days left. No, I think that's a good idea. Even this game, which was engineered to be a small game, is huge. This game is huge. Even though it's one of those things where there's infinities of different size, right? Not every infinity is the same size, which is a nonsensical statement, but it's mathematically true, right? Which is like, so take an infinite set of numbers, and then it's like set theory stuff where you could take bigger infinite sets of numbers. I'm not going to explain it well, but it's one of those things where it's like, that's what game dev feels like. It's like no matter what project you pick, it feels like it's huge, even when it's small. It ends up being huge. It ends up like unfurling from its like little idea. So yeah, I would pick the smallest possible project you can pick. I would try to do something smaller than you think is reasonable. Something so small where you're like, there's probably nothing here. Because it will unfurl into way more than you thought it would. So yeah, I'm all for this. Taurus, you need to relax, but still in co-working environment. This is a good place for that. Oh, thank you, Sapphire. We try to be. We try to be when I'm not on some kind of unhinged rant. Like when chat has rage baited me into something. Make 1% of the smallest project you can think of. Pretty much make the smallest thing that you can think of, and even that will be much bigger than you originally anticipated. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. All right, so this should work now. Get rid of this. And now we need to test it. You do want to do some actual jams on stream, but you need to plan more for that. Maybe. You definitely need to block out time, is what you need to do. kind of a good thing you're thinking about this now before you actually get anywhere with a larger thing. Doesn't mean you won't ever go back to the really big project, but it might be a while. Yeah, someone commented on the last episode of my FTL like live stream series and was like, what happened to this game? And I was like, it's on hold. It's on hold. I appreciate that people are still interested in it. And yeah, there's no reason you can't go back. I actually learned a lot. And I think I have a different approach for how I would go back to that game. And someday I probably will. Yeah, when you start with something that you know is already huge, it's just going to be even bigger. Yeah, exactly. Got to get back to the editor at some point. Honestly, true. I actually think if I go back to the FTL like, I don't think I'm going back to Lo-Fi Flyby. Or if I do, I think the way I was approaching Lo-Fi Flyby is wrong. I think hand building a small set of content was a mistake. Because we ran into some crazy issues trying to reconcile my, like, hand-built ship with, like, the realities of the grid system. And so I honestly do think I would need to work on the editor some more so that we can actually build the ships in the editor. I think my plan to build the ship by hand totally backfired. And I don't think I would do that again. I do like the little ship I made, but I think I would need to stick to the constraints of the system to actually get anything usable out of it. Not to say I wouldn't make a fun little incremental version like Lo-Fi Flyby. I just think I would need to totally change my approach to doing it. I think I would need to go back to, a systematic approach, which is what I wanted to avoid. But, you know, if I get a big runway, if this game takes off and I get a runway from it, that's totally what I want to go back and do. What's the attitude for arts and crafts? It's easier to have too much material and cut things out. Game dev is like the opposite of that. Kinda. I still think subtractive design is the strongest design, especially in game dev. I think it's okay to design stuff and then cut it down, but yeah, the cost of having to produce stuff and then cut it down is really high in game dev. I think from a design standpoint, it's okay to take that approach. But yeah, it's always stronger to cut stuff than add stuff. Subtractive design is just I think it's better. I think it's superior. I think you're more likely to fix something by cutting stuff than you are by adding something else. LSG, you think with the pace you're maintaining with your game, you need to swear off jams for the time being as well? You really want to hit the February Next Fest milestone? Yeah, I'm not sold on the February Next Fest. I'm definitely doing the jam by the Steam demo release by the end of the year. That's like a hard deadline I want to keep. But I also want the game to have long enough to really get wishlisting, because if you look at the meta of Next Fest right now, you have to bring external traffic to Next Fest. Like, your game already needs to be getting... People need to be finding your game on Steam, not because Steam showed it to them, but because they're coming to it from elsewhere. Like, they watched a YouTube short or something. I think I need to add little dots here. I think the gap here looks weird. But that's not what we're doing right now, so I'm not worried about it. What we want to do is when I consume my movement, we want to disable this button. And we actually want to select the button if I select the character. There's a bunch of caveats where we need to select the active character, which is the character whose turn it is. But right now we only have one character, so that's a meaningless distinction. All right, let me keep catching up with chat here. Sapphire, you feel like this game is almost what you were trying to accomplish with Lo-Fi, a smaller project you can actually make some progress on? Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it. I think this is a substitute for Lo-Fi Flyby. I think that's fair. Darren Ash, do you have some insights to give us from what you learned from that project? Well, I said some of them. It's hard to have insights from a project you haven't finished. I think this is my answer to that project, though. right? To all of that, to what I've done before. This game and the priorities and principles behind this game's development really is my only insight and answer is maybe try to do things this way. Try to do it quick. Try to minimize the production to the minimum viable product. Try not to do everything. I don't know. I don't have any good insights. I'm sorry. I failed my insight check. All right. So what I want to do is hook these up so that if I click this, we go into movement mode. And so if I click this, we go into action mode. Each of these should select the character. If I select the character this way, and it kicks us into movement mode, or I select an item, and it kicks us into action mode, that should reciprocate to these buttons. So these buttons should become selected. So these buttons actually are toggles, aren't they? They're toggles. They're not like the menu buttons. Or the undo redo buttons, which I call the menu buttons for some reason. The menu row buttons. Arneo, I guess your other analogy for subtractive versus additive is sculpting a statue versus building Frankenstein's monster. I don't know. There are people who like working in clay and they like working in clay additively, so. Generally, from game design standpoint, subtractive design is just better. It's just better. If you had infinite time and infinite means, I still don't think additive design is better. Games are generally stronger the simpler they are and the more coherent they are. Like if you're like, I have this feature in my game and I don't think it's totally working. I think the incorrect thing to do is to be like, well, if I add this other feature that supports this feature, maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll be better. But maybe you just cut the feature. Because then you make 0 features instead of 2. So I don't know. Everything has its place, but I'm a very strong proponent of cutting things. That said, I am making a covert action game here, which is like 2 games that touch. There's like the card game, and there's like the RPG card game, and then there's like the turn-based tactics game. So do what I say, not what I do. Yeah, it seems like you want 3 to 4 months, if not more, for your demo to exist pre-Next Fest. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm probably more likely to be in the June Next Fest. Probably more what I'm looking at. The people that don't think they have any good insights can actually turn out to have the best insight. They're just humble. Well, that's because they're different skills, right? The ability to do something and the ability to say something are different. So that's why I think if you're trying to follow, if you really respect a creator and you like what they do, don't listen to what they say. I mean, listen to it, but don't think that that's like the same thing. You should pay attention to what they do, not what they say. Similarly, if someone says a lot, but they don't do much, then what they say is worth even less. Because, yeah, if you ask someone how they succeeded or what they did, they can tell you. But it's like, it's a retrospective. It's like a... Definitely listen to people about what they did, but don't listen to people when they prescriptively tell you, you need to do this. Like, it's one thing to hear them and be like, okay, this is what they did to get the thing done. I don't know. That's my opinion. Are you telling me not to listen to you? Yes, don't listen to me. Do not listen to me. If you're listening to me, then don't listen to me. That's the lesson I'm telling you. You need to listen to me, but stop listening to me. I have no idea what I'm saying. Right? And even if I did have an idea of what I'm saying, I haven't done anything, so you shouldn't listen to me anyway. All right, let's hook up these buttons somehow. Okay, so these buttons are toggles now. I'm going to really struggle to get anything done today. I'm going to be super upfront with you. Okay, good. Ah, okay, I see a problem that we've created for ourselves by making these toggles. We actually need to untoggle the button. Or this is gonna not work. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay, so what's the logic of this then? So if the move is toggled and then we enter the act button, this seems to work, except we need to unpress it. The opposite case doesn't seem to help us, which is if this... Oh, if we exit this and it's toggled, we shouldn't actually do the thing. Okay, I'll add that exception first. We're going to do this iteratively because I can't predict all of the edge cases here. Yeah, nobody is going to be able to tell you realistically why what they did succeeded. They might have some ideas, but they're just ideas. Actually, people can have an idea of what they did and why what they did has succeeded. Where it all falls apart is once they start telling you what you need to do to succeed, right? That doesn't work. Doesn't work. Not that you shouldn't listen to people with experience. But prescriptive advice isn't right. Descriptive advice is okay. All right, we're in ads. I'm going to eat this apple here. Does disabling a button untoggle it? Maybe. That's not... I think it does. I think it does. All right, we're coming out of ads here. So if I press this button and we do this, or if I press this button, we do this. Okay, this part works now. The on act button exit part is what I want. Oh, what the heck has happened there? Ah. I see what's going on here. So if we press a button We actually need to change the... We actually have to change the on act button pressed. Is this function hooked up? I think it is. So on act button pressed, we actually need to say act button texture normal equals act button normal. Act button dot custom minimum size is act button normal dot get size. We need this so that we don't accidentally change the button size. Rip your sinuses, LSG. I've lived that life. I've historically had many allergies. Okay, well this isn't right. Why is this? Oh, I see. We need to actually set this like here. Act button texture normal equals act button tab right. Also, this is wrong. You just take an antihistamine. It's a waiting game till it kicks in. Yeah, it can be rough. I take the 24-hour stuff. That's generally okay with other things. But yeah, like Benadryl or whatever can be pretty hardcore. Like I can take like so many Benadryl and be totally fine. But if my girlfriend takes like half of one, she's asleep for like 10 hours. And then groggy the next day. It's very different. People have very different reactions to it. Okay, that's right now. Okay, what happens if this is like this and I go like this? So we need to set that. What if this is like this and we do this? That works. Oh, this needs to be part of a button group. For one thing. I'm gonna make a new button group. Where do I put my button groups? I don't know, actually. I think we just toss them in somewhere. Button group. Group. There we go. Button group. Allow unpress, yes. Save as. We're gonna call this the move act button group. I think it's fine. And put these as part of the same button group here. Quick load. Act button group. Because you can't select both of these at the same time. That's nonsensical. Okay, that helps. This case is wrong. The case of act is pressed, but move is moused over. That needs to collapse. Oh, you know what the problem is? We don't actually have a version of the button that's pressed and a tab. We have room for it though. Hey, Kemoth, how's it going? 24 hours, the one that interacts poorly. Oh no, that's rough. I'm gonna go take one of those. on my next ad break. Just because I'm going to be out and about today, and I realize I don't want to get sniffly, especially at the movie theater tonight. How's it going, Kemoth? You seeing it in IMAX? I think I'm just seeing it in regular 70 millimeter. So still big 70 millimeter film. So still the large format, just not IMAX. I don't love IMAX. IMAX is like, there's like 12 seats in the theater that are good, and all of the rest of the seats are like whack. I don't love IMAX for that, especially if you try to see something new. Very hard to get a good seat in an IMAX theater for a new release. I'm not saying I would never see it in IMAX, but yeah, it's tough. I think the large format should be fine. I'm going to Alamo Drafthouse. That's one of those nice theaters where you have table service. So like you get food, drinks, snacks. It's great. Making a whole evening of it. It's very impulsive. An impulsive move. And I was like, I'm going to go check that out. So how does this work? I don't know how the move button is doing what it's doing. Because it's behaving correctly. When you're going, this evening, I think. Is there room for another? I don't know. The theater was like almost completely full when I booked my ticket. Hey, Artie. And I booked my ticket like last week. I'm not going to the late show. I'm not going to the latest one, which is like 10 o'clock or whatever. I'm going to the one before that. Yeah, I should have asked you. I know you're a cinephile, but it was very impulsive. I realized I had an opportunity, and I took it. So why does this work? This shouldn't work. I think this only works because this button is exactly the right size. Wonder if I can make this work too. It shouldn't, but I wonder if I can. Let me see. Otherwise, we just need to make separate icons. It's totally full. Yeah, I figured. I think I got a third row seat, and I was like, that's good enough. At Alamo, that's good enough. You don't like sitting front row at the IMAX? Oh, yeah. I think the 70 millimeter will be good. I have not seen the memes, Rhiannon, but it's very funny. I like Nolan. And you know, the Iliad is in my name, so you know I like the source material. And I like Nolan. I'm not like a huge Inception, Interstellar fanboy or whatever, but like I think he's occasionally too clever, but I like it. I'm one of the few people that likes Tenet. All right, let's fix this. I said I wasn't going to be productive today, but we should at least do a couple of things. What about Tenet? I think people have issues with that one. For one thing, the sound editing is really bad in that movie. I don't know why. I don't know if it was like the pandemic or something, but the sound editing is pretty bad in that film. I still like it though. It's hard to, it sounds like everyone's in like an aquarium in half of that movie. Hey, Chris Knife. Oh, the correct all caps spelling of Tenet. Yeah. You're gonna watch The Backrooms? Cool. That's wild. Yeah. Yeah, go check it out, Arneo. I think I rewatched Interstellar because it had its like 10th anniversary or something. And it's maybe better than I remembered it originally. It's good. His stuff's good. You know what I've never seen, which is kind of a crime, is I still haven't seen Oppenheimer. I should watch that. All right, what am I doing? I'm trying to see if we can use this trick on... Did I close the script? I think I closed the script on accident. There it is. Oppenheimer's your top film. Ooh. Hey, Commander. And it's good. You have issues with it. Feels like those issues are somewhat unspoken, underreported. Oh, really? Because I feel like people have aired many issues. But I'm not surprised that if there's more issues. I was talking about it with Chris Knife last night. We ended up talking about Primer, which is, I think, an even more convoluted time travel film than Tenet. But I like them both. I see them as flawed, but I enjoy them. Okay, so we're going to do this. So on move button, mouse entered. What we need to do here is say act button texture normal is act button tab right. Oh, but that won't do anything for us. If move button is disabled, act button custom minimum size equals act button tab right dot get size. Wait a second. This should be giving us the behavior that we want. So maybe I do need a different texture if I want the mouse button behavior. Hey, Turbo. Oppenheimer needed a Subway Surfers screen below. Oh, yeah. So I don't know why the move version of this works. I honestly don't. I don't understand why this version of this works. But when I do this version, it doesn't. Oh, because it's not switching. I probably need to tell the... Oh, so I think there's a hack here I could do. Oh, well, that's gross. Maybe I shouldn't do the hack, because I just realized that this version of it would be really bad. Why isn't that doing anything? Move, exit. So we're swapping... We're not actually swapping anything. Oh, I actually do need to do something in this one. Okay. I unhooked that signal. I didn't think I needed it. Turns out I did. Let's just add it back. I do like, is it Cillian or Killian? I always say, I change my mind, but yeah, I like Cillian Murphy. He's good stuff. That sounds like that's you got some hangups about the reality of of that, Chris. I know you want it to be better, but it's not. If anything, the reality is worse. You've been watching For All Mankind. You've been enjoying it. Oh, yeah. There's so many shows that are like Apple TV shows that I just haven't and will probably never watch because I just don't have Apple TV. All right. So if move button mouse entered, we'll do this. And then what we need to do on move button mouse exited, So if it was active, we know that the texture normal has changed. So we need to change it back. Act button dot texture normal equals act button tab right. Act button custom minimum size. Good art reflects reality back at us. Exactly. That's a good way. Turbo, did you do the art yourself? I've done the UI, which is very minimal in terms of like the stuff that I did. Like I've done the UI pattern. I didn't do the font. So really just like things like arrows and stuff. So no, this is most of the assets or all the assets are from a pack called Pixel-like 2. Which is like a roguelike pixel art pack on itch. We're trying something with this game. We're trying to do something quickly. Because in my last game, I was doing literally everything. And that ended up being kind of just too much. Big surprise. So we're trying to make this smaller, faster, better. Why am I changing the act button? I'm trying to change this one. I think I might need to, but let's not start with that. Let's start by fixing the move button. The move button texture normal equals move button normal. Move button dot custom minimum size equals move button normal dot get size. Move button c index equals 1. There's going to need to be another caveat to this. We're going to need to do this differently if the act button is toggled. But right now I'm just going to see if I can at least get this behavior correctly. Yeah, I never watched Silicon Valley, and I feel like I missed the window to do so. Like, I feel like it's probably not aged very well. Like, I think all the stuff that they allude to and joke about in that show has just gotten too real. Like the weird dystopia that it represents. Like, I think Social Network did a better job because it painted everyone involved as like absolute scumbags. And I was like, yes, that's correct. Some of them they painted as naive, like Andrew Garfield or whatever. Painted Andrew as a little, whatever his character's name was, as maybe a little overly naive, but okay, this is mostly working. I still think this is a fluke, the fact that I got this to work without having to come up with an extra texture for it. I wanna make this version work the same. And how do I do that? I think what I have to do is I'd have to change the custom minimum size of this button so that the act button slides behind it. But yeah, I think it's a fluke that this works right here. I think I shouldn't rely on it. I'm not going to. Well, maybe let's try. Let's see if we can fake it. You don't envy developers who do their own art? I do. I would like to be the kind of dev that does their own art, but yeah. I'm okay at like really small scale pixel art. We've done a few pixel art things. I enjoy it too, is the other thing. I enjoy it, but yeah. There's a certain point where you just need to make very shrewd choices. So what we could do is we could say on mouse, we could say on move button entered, if act button is pressed, we could give the move button a different custom minimum size. Let's try that. Let's see if that works, because that would be a neat hack if that works. So we would do this. So we'd say if act button dot button pressed. We would say move button dot custom minimum size equals move button dot move button tab left dot get size. I don't think this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Else this. I know I could do this as a ternary. If we stick with this, I probably will. I just don't know if I care. Okay, now we're just throwing out Twin Peaks. What do you think of Twin Peaks? You know, I'm going to be super honest. I've never really watched Twin Peaks, which is weird because I like Lynch, and I also like what's his name? Kyle MacLachlan. I like Kyle MacLachlan. I've liked him since Dune 1984, right? Not that I was, you know, watching Dune 1984. You're doing art for GMTK right now? It's hard. Ooh, yeah, I could see that. You're gonna head out, work on your game. Thanks for stopping by, Commander. Appreciate that. Kyle MacLachlan is a treasure. He is so good in the Fallout show. He did such a good job. I mean, I already liked him. But no spoilers for, like, especially season 2. But, oh, man. He did a good job. Okay, this didn't do what I had hoped it would do. Oh, you know what? This is probably the thing where it's, like, it's overwriting the custom minimum size. And for this one, it's not because... Okay, so I think we need to do... I think we can maybe get this to work if we also do this. Move button dot texture normal equals move button tab left. I think if we do this, we can maybe get it to work. You kind of hate Lynch. Hot take, hot take. Ooh, boy. Well, whatever we're doing here is absolutely thrashing everything. So yeah, okay. We're not going to do the hack. It's unfortunate that the hack seems to work here. But we just won't do it because the other version is just absolutely just destroying itself. Okay, so what we need to do then is we need to make some tabs, some pressed tab buttons. Yeah, I think he's a love him or hate him kind of guy. I don't disagree with that. You should watch his video about making quinoa. That might be my favorite thing he's ever done, which is really disrespectful. He was doing this series too for a while where he was telling you the weather. He would give you the weather report in LA. And it's so good. He is so funny. Man is a genius. Yeah, I like the random stuff he would do more than you know, his big serious stuff that actually mattered. I guess I could put these right next to each other. All right, see Sapphire. I think I'm gonna mess this up. But we're gonna do our best here. Is that right? I don't know if that's right. It's okay. He's got a great voice. I almost prefer him as an actor to him as a director. Which is part of why I think everyone should go watch his video about making quinoa. As a performer, he is so good. He is so good. There's a few directors like that. Like John Huston. John Huston is an absolute legend. Like one of the greats. One of the all-time great directors. But he's also a damn fine actor. He's iconic. All right, this works. This should be our pressed button tabs. These should be fine for what we need. Will this look weird? Is there a case where this would look weird? No, this should be fine. Five minutes till TGIF for you. Ooh, that's exciting. How are we doing? We're about halfway through? Okay. I don't feel that bad about that. So what we need to do is we need to hook up. We need to record both of the pressed versions. So we need to say... So I'm going to rename these. I'm going to say tab. I'm just going to call this tab normal. Tab normal. Actually, I could call it normal tab, I guess. Probably be easier to deal with. And then we also want to record at export variable act button pressed. We also want at export variable act button pressed. Well, an early thank Godot it's Friday to you, Arneo. Gets to enjoy it first. We have one really big task for the next couple of days, which is to work out actions and how actions work and how actions, quote unquote, interact with equipment. Like how the equipment empowers the interactions and the actions and enables the actions that you can take. There's going to be that's going to be the last thing we really need to sort out in our sandbox. And then I really want to just switch to working on the actual progression the player is going to experience through the game. I know I said this weeks ago, but I'm just absolutely tired of working in sandboxes. They're good for certain things, but they're actually very dangerous. It's very dangerous to build your game in like a sandbox mode rather than in like the actual progression that the player is going to experience. Because things just straight up don't work the same way. And you will get mixed up and you will be wrong about how systems and workflows and even just how the player experience is going to be if that's not what you're designing for. Of the actual practical, like this is how you experience the game. So I really want to switch to that as soon as possible. But we still need to figure out how actions work. So we're not quite ready. But soon. Let's hook these export variables back up. They all got cleared. Actually, we need to make some of them, don't we? Oh, I have an apple left. That's exciting. I'll wait for my next ad break. I have a slice of apple left. Okay, I think I got disconnected from chat and then reconnected, so sorry if I missed a message or anything. Chat client just welcomed me to chat, which is indicative of something having happened. Sorry if I missed anything. Welcome to chat. Thank you. Thank you, LSG. It's good to be here. Where is the... There it is. Did you come to a conclusion on the action icon? Yeah, yes, it's just this down arrow. Kept it simple, kept it coherent with the move icon, which is just the standard arrow. I think the... Oh, I gotta hook some of these back up here. 1 second. Save as doesn't always do what I expect it to do, but I'll show you in a second here. Yeah, that's about what This is what we ended up. Oop, crash. Act button, normal tab. Oh, didn't finish. Didn't actually finish exporting the variables. Classic. But yeah, I think what we ended up with is okay. I think it's got good flow. Act button, normal tab. That's not the tab. That's not right. We have to do some button swapping here, so which is why we're recording these like this. This is a kind of unusual interface we've come up with, but I like it. It's very good on space saving. Also, hey, Latin Ignition, how's it going? Happy Thursday. Yeah, this is what we ended up with. I think it's nice. I think it's got a good flow to it. I think it pushes the player first to the right and then down, which is this is the flow of a normal turn. You move, then you act, then you end the turn. Ooh, ending the turn should unpress all of these. The best way to do that. Also, we need to change both the normal button and any other button when we do this. There's some weird edge cases here, but we'll figure it out. What was this one? How did we get to this exact one? I think that was maybe a fluke. Like I hit this and then I did this. No, I actually don't know how we did that. Oh, that's why. And this is wrong still. We gotta, oh, because we need to still swap the buttons. Oh, that was it. That was it. That's the... Yeah. So we're accidentally swapping the normal button. So we need an exception for... If we mouse over move and act is pressed, we need to do something else. That's the way that works. So move mouse button entered. If move button dot disabled, return. We can do this thing. We can say if act button dot button pressed. We'll do something else here. So what we're gonna do, if the button is pressed, what we want to do is we want to swap the pressed. I think it's going to force us to also swap the normal button based on my increasingly uncertain feelings about how the HBox container works. Yeah, that's a nice flow. Arrows indicate function and direction. Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think it's like genius, but I think it works considering our constraints on size and legibility. You just remember, do you have a Ko-Fi? Just remember that you have a Ko-Fi. You have a Ko-Fi, Chris Knife? Gotta get yourself out there more. When do you start streaming? With all this free time you have. I'll settle for a blog post. Can we get a ship it for Chris Knife? You should probably set up a Ko-Fi. You should, LSG. It's good. There are some people that don't want to give Twitch money, but do want to give you money. And you know what's nice? You get 97% of the money that someone gives you on Ko-Fi. I actually don't know if it's 97%. I actually don't know if Ko-Fi takes a cut. I don't think they do. I think they ask you if you want to maybe give a little extra or something. I should know this stuff. I think all you got to do is pay Stripe or whoever the payment processor is. You don't know, maybe you could start streaming around 3 to 4 when you usually end streaming. Yeah, do it. The only tricks are you need good audio. You don't need any video, but you need good audio. And you need to stream for at least 2 hours. because it'll be 2 hours before anyone realizes you're online. Hey, Kilganon. I don't know if it's Kilgan1 or Kilganon. Kilga. Maybe I'll just call you Kilga. Kilganon? Is it Kilganon? Do you just hate Ganon? Thank you for the follow. How's it going? I'm not making fun of your name. I'm trying to immerse myself in the ambiguity. But yeah, please tell me how it's phonetically pronounced if I'm bothering you. How's it going? Fender, you've been learning Python on Codex. And her GD script is very similar to Python, so maybe you'll try Godot again. You didn't like it last time. It's good. There's one of those things where it's like your feeling and opinion about whether you like it or not. That's yours, and that is, there's nobody that can tell you otherwise, right? That's your experience, and your experience is true, and it's yours. But Godot is good. That's an objective fact. So I would encourage you to try it. It's just Kilganon, not Kilgan1. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Kilganon. It's a good name. It's just phonetically very dense. But yeah, structurally, it's okay. It's similar to Python. I don't think under the hood it's very similar to Python. But I think once you get your head around the whole indent-based control flow thing, I think it's pretty straightforward. I also like Snake Case. I think Snake Case is maybe the best. Such that I even wanted to use Snake Case in C#. I just didn't because that's not the standard. But I actually think Snake Case is superior in most cases. All right, what are we doing? I don't remember anymore. I'm having too much fun and I'm tired. How long you develop your game? This game has been in development for about 7 weeks, I think. Yeah, about 7 weeks. So less than 2 months. We're making good progress. I feel like we're still behind. Oh, what the hell just happened here? So I need to handle the act. The act button is pressed. Oh, because this is the default for the... Is this the default for the button? That's whack. No, it's not, so I'm changing it on accident. Okay. Huh. Uh-huh. Did I plug in the wrong texture here? Nope. Okay. For loops suck just as much as in Python. Yeah, word. I don't actually know. I don't know that. I'm not a good expert. Chris Knife probably knows the differences between C and Python for loops. Don't spam your enter key. It's rule 2. Don't spam. Is your keyboard like busted? Because I hate when that happens. Having that with my work laptop sometimes, it is devastating. when like a key sticks. Sometimes a random key will start sticking, and there's like no way to deal with it except to just like hard reboot the computer sometimes. Frustrating. Okay, we're getting knowledge dropped on us by Chris Knife. Python for loops are nice because you can write generator functions to feed the loop one element at a time, whereas C for loops can be customized with code directly in the loop, such as for initialization, iteration, and condition. Interesting. Interesting. Using a generator would be kind of cool. That's something I didn't get into when we were doing the FTL like with that C# code, and it probably would have been helpful. Would have been to use like source generators for my ECS stuff, for some of my component stuff. That's what Unity does. Probably should have tried to make that happen. Yeah, I wish I could do pre and post increment in GDScript. I wish I could do like ++ pre or post. I like doing that sometimes. You gotta head out? All right. Thanks, Rhiannon. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out on this very slow day here. We are going to finish this button set. We're going to do it because it feels insane to waste a whole day on button sets. But we're going to do it. These buttons will give us the behavior that we want from them here. So on act button mouse exited. I don't think we need to do anything here. If act button pressed on move button mouse entered. We set the texture pressed to the tab. We get the size from the tab. The move button, custom min size becomes texture hover. I feel like that's wrong. I feel like what we need to do here is we need to say move button dot texture normal. Even though we're not, fundamentally, if we've entered the move button area with the mouse, we're on the hover state. But I think the way that the HBox container works is it respects the minimum sizing from the texture normal, not from the other button states. So I think we still need to change it. To get the correct behavior. I think that's part of why we were seeing weird behavior there. If act button pressed, we set it to the press tab. Else, well, here's the thing. We don't actually need to do both of these, but we're going to. I actually think we might need to do this anyway. So maybe this isn't even an else. Let's just try this. Yeah, ++ I is handy in a lot of... Yeah. It is handy sometimes to both. To either increment a variable before you grab it or increment it after you grab it. Those are useful things. Those are useful things to do. I think sometimes that can be a nice thing to do. All right, we're really just all in on this move act button row here. Just making sure that all the various states of it work. So that doesn't. That's suspicious. What's going on here? So is this on the move exit? Which is super whack. So on move exit, we just got to set it back. Okay, that's fine. So on move button mouse exited, we need a if. Also, this if move button dot disabled return thing, is this right? Yeah, that should be right. You can say if act button pressed. No, for loops aren't that bad, Fender. We're nitpicking about specific implementations. Everyone uses for loops all the time. I think for loops in GDScript are a little whack because of you don't get the nice initialization, increment, end state thing. It's just a for each. For loops in GDScript are really like for each loops. You can just make the each part a range. That's like how you do it in GDScript. So it's a little weird. I don't know how that works in Python. I assume that's kind of why they work that way here. I assume Python's similar. Yeah, all you're saying is you wish you had both. Yeah, it would be nice to have both. That's how it works in Python? Okay, yeah. I figured if they were, trying to imitate that language, that's why. It's not that bad, but it's still kind of annoying. Yeah, for and for each are useful in their own ways. It's very true. It's very true. But I guess if you could only have one of them, for each is probably a little nicer. I don't know. You can use a while loop. While loops are good, and while loops are good for a different purpose, right? Although I guess the for each loops in GDScript kind of solve that problem. Because normally the problem with the for loop is it doesn't check the condition before running it the first time, which is why while loops are nice normally. But I think in GDScript, because of the way it's written, it actually does check the condition before it's run for the first time, which is nice. You agree with that? You'd rather have for each if you had to have one? Yeah, exactly. That's like the desert island. You're on a desert island. You can only have one kind of for loop. Which is it? That's stupid. All right, so on move button mouse exited, if act button dot button pressed, then we want to say act button dot texture normal equals act button normal. We want to say act button dot texture pressed equals act button pressed. We can say act button dot custom minimum size equals act button normal dot get size. Probably don't need to get the size all the time. I probably could just like cache these because they don't change, but oh, it's a constant anyway. Never mind. That's fine. Holy smokes, you were wrong. GDScript has custom iterators. Oh, what? What? Hold the phones. Custom iterators. You can create custom iterators in case the default ones don't quite meet your needs by overwriting iter init, iter next, and iter get. Iter get. Example implementation of a forward iterator. Neat. It can be used like any other iterator. Okay. It is possible but discouraged to store the state in a member variable, blah, blah, blah. Single element array so that updates can persist. State is not wrapped. It's supposed to be read-only. Oh, very cool. I don't know if I would ever use this, but it's very cool to know that it exists. Good find. That's cool. Yeah, I don't think there is a for while debate, Arneo. While has its use. While has very particular uses. It's definitely the cause of most program hangups. Because when I don't always get caught in an infinite loop, but when I do, it's in a while loop. Yeah, I like using while loops when I need my software to hang indefinitely. Exactly. There's no better way. Truly no better way to hang your program. All right, we're in ads. I'm going to eat my last little slice of apple here. So I'm going to mute for a second. Okay, there's a couple edge cases here which are weird. That's fine. I see one of them. One of them is very obvious. The other one's a little weirder. Still got a minute left in ads. I'm going to finish this apple slice. But yeah, one of these is very obviously a problem with... Well, this I don't understand. Oh, we're not setting it back, I don't think. So we're setting it to the tab at one point, and we're never setting it back. Yeah. That's pretty easy. And the other one is on... I think the other one is on act button, mouse exited. I think we're not accounting for the possibility that the act button is pressed. So I think we need to add a branch for that here. All right, I think this should work. We're back. We're back from ads. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. I know it's a slow one day here. We're getting stuff done. This weekend is going to be a big push to get actions implemented. I think I'm out of time to do that. We really need to start working on the actual progression of the game. Like making some encounters and levels and stuff. Because it is like a month, basically a month, until playtesting event I wanna debut this at. Oh, crash. How? Oh, because that's not a thing. Texture risk. You're working on Baron Rouge again? Nice. Baron's getting double HP and 2 extra hard points. Hope I'll make him a bit more terrifying. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I played the ability made available a while ago. And I had a very funny combat sequence where the enemy disabled me, but I think they died slightly before I was disabled. And so, like, I won, but I was just adrift, and I was just, like, floating around like a gas giant or something, just totally adrift. And I just sat there. It was fun, though. It felt very... That's how a fight in space would probably go, is probably everyone would die. That's how I imagine most spaceship combat's going. Because spaceships are so fragile when you think about it. Especially if you have, like, an expanse style. Like, if you're not quite at, like, you know, the behemoth, like, fantasy spaceship level. Because let's be real, most sci-fi series have, like, a fantasy conception of the technology behind the ships. Like, most people will call Star Wars a fantasy series right now. It's not like sci-fi most of the time. It's like somewhere between a space opera and like a fantasy, right? There's maybe exceptions, like I think some of the Clone Wars maybe got into explaining a little bit more about how the world worked, maybe, or technology or whatever. But yeah, I really like your approach. I think it's cool. I think there's something very cool there. Okay, this seems to be closer to what we want. I think there's some of maybe the mouse exit stuff that's weird, but this seems to be mostly working. And we got an hour, so I can probably hook the buttons up to the characters, which would be good. Okay. That's not what should happen. What about this? That is what should happen. Oh. Well, that's a weird case. So if on mouse button move exited, if act button is pressed, we need to switch the move button back to its tab. But if act button is pressed on act button mouse exited, we actually don't want to swap it back if it's pressed. Okay. It's a Western in space. What, Star Wars? I mean, The Mandalorian, maybe. No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I feel like it tries to be more of like a samurai movie a lot of the time. Star Wars. Your number one feedback has been how the Baron sometimes just dies off screen kind of randomly, possibly from his own missiles. Oh, rip. You have an idea for a Baron Rouge spinoff where you're a Union mining ship diving into a massive orbiting asteroid belt. Core idea being you have to match the asteroids movement to keep up with them and then mine them with different tools. Have you played Delta V? Go play Delta V. Rings of Saturn is its full name. This is like the game about being an asteroid miner. It's very hardcore. Very good. I really like their display for your cargo hold. You have to like shatter the asteroids and like actually capture the little bits coming off, which is very much about like syncing up your velocity. And you travel into the asteroid belt, and the farther you travel in, the like harder it is to get out. Like this box is like shows you the asteroid belt, and there's a little gap here, so they're like in a gap between two pieces of the asteroid belt, which are just huge. This game is very cool. I only played it a little bit. It wasn't for me like the absolutely hardcore, like maximalist hardcore simulation game, but it's super cool. Yeah, go play Delta V Rings of Saturn. What is it now? $10. There's a demo. Go play the demo right now. It's very good. You'll get some ideas. Oh, flashbang warning, geez. But yeah, the ship designs are very cool, and so is the trying to like. Sometimes it's hard for me to distinguish the foreground from the background, but other than that, it's very cool. And yeah, here's like your cargo hold, and it's like full of stuff, and it like sloshes around, like you can see it. It's very cool, and it's all about like making sure you have enough fuel to get back out. It's a very interesting game. You're thinking more arcadey? Yeah, I wouldn't make something this hardcore either. This is like you're watching how much like power your like nuclear reactor is generating kind of thing. It's very hardcore. You're like measuring propellant and like energy usage. It's definitely more simulated than I would ever want to do, but yeah, it's a really, really interesting take on it. That's funny. LSG, is your idea still underwater? Or is it like space? Yeah, I'm interested. Sounds like you two need to team up to make an incredible arcadey space mining game. Alright, so what did I say I was going to do? If the move button, no, if the act button is select, yeah, so it's, the problem is if you mouse exited and the act button is selected, the behavior is wrong. We need to switch it back to the tab. And then move button, mouse exited. We can do an else here is what we can do. I think this is right. I'm not sure if I'm changing the z-index correctly in all of these cases, but actually, yeah. Actually, we need to do both, huh? We say move button dot texture normal equals move button normal tab. Button z-index equals 1. Custom minimum size. Okay, that works now. That behaves correctly. All right, this is all smooth so far. This is wrong. So on act button, mouse exited. If act button is pressed, we shouldn't actually swap the move button back. When act button mouse exited, if act button dot button pressed, what we should probably say is if not act button dot button pressed. I know I could do a return. I could just add it to the return, but I don't necessarily want to do that, I don't think. So I actually don't know that this is exactly right yet. Okay, that's pretty much what we want. Okay. Amazing how much code you need just to make some reactive buttons, but this is pretty much what we want. So the idea is you'll move, then the move button will get disabled, showing you this, and then this will be purple. Starting to look like an interface someone might actually use to do something, which is nice. Now we need to actually hook it up to the characters somehow. And so what if they're disabled? That's not going to totally work, is it? Maybe it will. Let's see. I don't think it will. Like, I don't think... Like, I think in code we're going to have to set these to be disabled to start. I don't think the behavior is going to be correct. No, it's not. Okay, so we can't do that. But what we could do... is just disable it to start, I think. You wonder if some monster will ever port React to Godot? That's horrible. Why would you ever want that? Why do you web devs want everyone else to suffer? As you have suffered. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say act button dot disabled equals true. Do I need to do anything else other than this? The answer is probably. I probably need to change the tabs size. Someone did port React to Godot. Did we like? Did they get like tarred and feathered as they should have? So yeah, we have to update the. I don't think I can just add, I don't think I can just change the minimums. I feel like we tested this before. I don't think I can just change the minimum size. Oh, what if I actually don't think I need to do it this way. What if I do it like this? What if we set the normal to be the tab? Will that work then? Looks like it. So now I should be able to have them be disabled. Yes. This looks a little weird, but I think it'll be very clear what's going on as soon as things start moving. Yeah, where did we bury them? I assume they were drawn and quartered, so they're probably buried in multiple places. Because that sounds like treason. And the punishment for treason is pretty severe. All right, so when I play, well, so play a character is wrong. This is again why this sandbox is the worst. And I can't actually set it up this way. Because playing a character, when you play a character, the character is not immediately going to be able to act. And in fact, I actually have to figure out how I want to do turn one deployment. Especially deployment of characters that are alive. Like characters that survived the last encounter need to be deployed. And there's a couple of different ways I could do it. I could like make the characters cards again, but I don't want to do that. What I probably will do is just have the characters pre-populated into the roster, and I'll probably just place them on random points in the deployment area, in this area, in the deployment area. I'll probably do the same thing with enemies. Not that enemies survive rounds, but I'll probably randomly place enemies around here, around the enemy deployment zone, which is the right third of the map. And what we'll probably be able to do is you'll just be allowed to freely move characters around at no cost during the deployment phase. So you'll just be able to click your characters in the roster and move them around freely. It won't cost movement to do it. So that'll be a weird exception. So we'll need to program it. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. So maybe I won't start these disabled for now. Maybe I won't. Just because I feel like if I do, testing this is going to be hard. Yeah. And what we really want to test is the ability to disable them when you run out of movement. So I'll just need to change them a little bit once we actually get the real map set up. I should drink some water. I've had like no water. Where the hydrates been at, huh? Letting your streamer just dry out like SpongeBob here. Oh, LSG with a 3 stream streak. I missed that. Incredible. So we probably want to do to start. So since these aren't going to be enabled, we won't worry about that. All we'll do right now is we'll try to come up with some kind of signaling system so that when a character moves, we can disable. When a character moves and runs out of movement, we can disable this button. And then the trick is we're going to need to re-enable the button if we hit like undo. Like if we undo the move, we'll need to re-enable the button. So if like our knight... So if I use our movement, that should disable the move button. Obviously, if I use the action, that should also disable the action button. Don't sue me, Tim Rogers, just because I have an action button. Technically, it's an act button, I guess. It's not an action button. I thought about spelling out action fully. It took up too much space. I like the terraced look of shortening it anyway. That's what we did. You know what this doesn't do is this doesn't actually... I should fix this to have a mask over the party wipe text. I should save this to have a mask over the inner icon ring so that it's consistent. I should do the same thing with this text, with this button text as well. Consistency is key. Hey, thanks for the hydrate, Arneo. Appreciate you. Hey, was the hydrate out of stock? You just missed it. It's funny, I asked for a hydrate, and you just appeared. It's like you know, Nyx. That's probably why I'm dehydrated, is you haven't been here today. Huh. Items have been removed from... Items have removed data from my computer. That's fun. Thanks, Google Drive. These are looking good, though. I'm pleased with these. I do need to make these actually do something. I guess the move button is toggled, too. When I actually get a move thing. We talked about yesterday also having a confirm window for end turn that's like optional, where it's like end turn, and then like a thing will pop up here and be like, are you sure you want to end the turn? And it can be like yes, no, and like don't ask me again. There can be like a don't ask again option. Because the only irreversible interaction in this game is ending the turn. Because like you can freely undo, redo within a given turn, right? You just freely do that. But once you end this turn, it is locked in. So I realize someone pointed out, I think Evgeny did. Evgeny pointed out that if you accidentally hit the end turn button instead of one of these other buttons that are immediately next to it, that would hurt. That would hurt pretty bad. I do want people to be able to opt out of the double button confirm thing. The like you have to hit end turn and then you have to hit confirm. I want people to be able to opt out of it. But I do want it on by default. Because then if you accidentally misclick out of the turn, that's your fault. Oh shoot. This layer is too low. I just realized we're actually missing some of the... I need to change the scene ordering here. Oh yeah, these tiles. These tiles actually need to be up like here. Interesting. So when you're playing Fallout New Vegas, so you're playing Fallout New Vegas in the Fallout 3 engine? I heard they're working on a remaster of... No, wait, are they doing a remaster? Or Obsidian announced New Vegas 2, right? Is that what they announced? Fallout 3 in the Fallout New Vegas engine, actually? Oh, is that the order? Do I just not know? I don't know things. I guess that makes sense. New Vegas came out after Fallout 3? That's what happened? Oh yeah, they announced Fallout 3, they announced Fallout 5, which, you know, good luck. I think we have to wait for Elder Scrolls 6 before we get Fallout 5. Fallout 3 and a Fallout New Vegas remake. We don't know if it's Fallout 5 or Fallout New Vegas 2. I thought they announced a Fallout New Vegas 2. Your money's on Fallout coming out first. Well, they have very explicitly said that the main Bethesda team is on Elder Scrolls 6. So I think it's pretty guaranteed that it's Elder Scrolls 6 next. What, Bethesda is not making Fallout... Oh, so the whole Fallout game has been moved to Obsidian, and we just don't know if it's Fallout 5 or Fallout New Vegas 2. I understand your message now. So they're making a new Fallout game, but we don't know which it is. But we know that Obsidian is making it. Okay. That's cool. That's probably wise. Bethesda's always had a problem. Ever since they started making Fallout games, they've had a problem with that kind of alternating approach, right? Because those games take so long. The fact that they work on one for like 6 years and then they work on the other one for like, you know, who knows how long. I feel like Elder Scrolls 6 has been in development for like 10 years. That's not wrong, is it? When did Skyrim come out? Skyrim is like GTA 5. There's been like, it's been on like every, oh my god, 2011. Yeah, 15 years since it came out on V-Day 2011. That's pretty funny. Armistice Day, I guess is what you would call it. And the guns went silent because everyone was too busy playing Skyrim. The guns fell silent over Europe. Asha brought down the hammer. That's actually a good move. I actually agree with that move. I don't agree with everything that they've done, but I agree with taking taking one of those away from Bethesda, especially if, you know, they're gonna shit can half the team. And Obsidian is good. Obsidian is good. If anyone can make a Fallout game, it's Obsidian. I mean, they already have, right? But I'm just saying, like, the outer world is the Outer World series is pretty cool. I didn't really play it because it's not really my jam, but I have respect. I have a lot of respect for Obsidian as someone who's never played any of their games. But, like, the same thing as, like, Pillars is so cool, but, like, it's not the kind of game I would play. Not a CRPG player. I don't know why. I should be. I'm the kind of person that should be a CRPG player. Yeah, I think they'll do well. I think they'll do well. They'll do a good job. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so theoretically, we're going gonna try to do some stuff here. Here, let's be really stupid and let's say something like, if can get character fail? Character manager, get character sheet, character. No, it can't because you have one of those. This is actually hard to do. I actually don't think I can set these buttons up right now. I actually think they straight up won't work until we actually set the environment such that... I guess we should do this too, though. We should do all of these. We should say act button dot texture pressed equals act button pressed. We should say act button dot z index 1. I actually don't know if we need to do all of this stuff. Do we actually need to do all of this stuff? I don't know if we need to do this stuff. Let's see. Let's check. Let's double check and see if we actually need to do all this stuff or if we can just clean it up such that we don't need to. Kind of slow rolling progress today, but that's okay. That's like, this is kind of one of the final pieces of the UI. I still need to figure out somewhere to show your money. There's not a lot of places left. I think what I might do is only show your money when you're in the store or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to do it up here because the turn order thing could probably get pretty big. But we could probably constrain it. Like, even if there were like 12 characters in the turn order thing, we could probably do some kind of overlapping or something so that it's reasonable. Because you don't actually, you really just care about whose turn it currently is, and you care about whose turn is next. But all the other people besides those two could be like stacked. You could like stack them so that the current turn is stacked on the current, whoever's going currently could be stacked, like overlapping partly, and stacked on top of all of the characters that went before them this turn. So you could like squoosh them a little bit. And then whoever's going next could be stacked on top of everyone else who has yet to go. Maybe we do like a sliding thing, which will be hell because that would be another like HBox container. Yeah, we'll have to think about how we're going to do this turn order thing. That's one of the next big UI tasks. One of the final UI tasks, actually. Figure that. Let's go creep. Oh, so you're betting on Fallout first because Obsidian is just that fast. All right, see you next. Oh, did that work? I don't actually check. Did this actually work? Okay, yeah, this does work, I think. Because yeah, I shouldn't have needed to do anything on the button pressed signal. These should just work anyway. Yeah, okay, we can get rid of that. Baron just blew you up with 2 rail shots while handling like 6 broadsides from you. You think you mission accomplished on making him tougher? Yeah, that's really tough because it's like if you have a hard time beating the boss from your game, that means basically literally nobody else is going to be able to do it, right? That's especially a danger during game jams, right? Where you're like testing your game and you're playing it and nobody else is playing it. And then you end up releasing it and it's like too hard. Or you do the thing I always do, which is panic at the end and then nerf everything and then like make it way easier and then you make it too easy. But yeah, it's tough. That's tough. It's very fun. You have a very fun sandbox. But the problem with sandboxes is they're just these chaos engines, and constraining them is the challenge. That's the challenge, is constraining them appropriately. All right, so I think this part is done. I think we did what we wanted to do in terms of setting up these buttons. We haven't actually hooked them up to anything, but like I said, we can't do that yet until we change the structure of the scene to be, you know, what we intend it to be. And so I think tomorrow is going to be just working on actions. We have a little bit of time left here, so I'm going to do a couple little nitpicky UI things that I noticed that I want to change for consistency. I actually need 2 of these, huh? Actually, no, here we go. They're right here. Here's this one. Where's the party one? I actually don't know how I'm going to make the party one work. Oh, here's the card. So card back highlight. Card back highlight actually needs a little bit more here. We need to load a regular card back. Where even is that? Where does the card even live? Probably under sprites, cards. Probably under cards would probably be my guess. Base, card back. I need the text. We need to take the text from here to do the thing that I want to do. This isn't right. Is that right? That's right. Oh, is that? No, yeah, that is right. Okay. Sorry for the flashbang. It's a little bright. Your parents are going to test this when you release it? That's funny. Balances out with the Baron just randomly blowing up very easily sometimes. Yeah, the problem is most players are only going to experience it once, right? And they'll just assume that whatever their experience was is the typical one. It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough environment. LSG, you're running into that issue. You're so used to the controls. You have a hard time predicting how a player will manage with no experience. Oh yeah, it's especially bad, especially if you have unlocked 3D movement. Basically, nobody understands how to do unlocked 3D, how to control full. If you have full 3D range of freedom for controls, like if you play Hard Space Shipbreaker or whatever, that is so hard to figure out at first for most people, for what I would call normies, right? Twin stick controls are not intuitive for people who weren't raised on them. 3D camera controls are really hard. I don't begrudge that. That's why I'm keeping UI at the very forefront of my process with this game. Because I realize that most of the battle with getting people to play and enjoy a game is just getting them to figure out what they can do. It's almost all onboarding and tutorialization. Which is why I'm taking a very UI forward approach. Especially for early playtesting, because once you have some playtesters who are experienced, they can start telling you some more stuff about high-level play. But for the first batches, it's all tutorialization and onboarding. That's where all of your effort kind of needs to go. Which is why I really want to get working on this in the correct order, which is to get the player experience part. Man, these eyes are enormous in this font. I don't know why. Just huge. They look good. But man, they're huge. And we're adding highlights to the UI focus. for the cards, for the card highlight, so that it looks correct. So it looks consistent with the rest of the UI. God, I'm so bad at this. I should really just do color replace, is what I should do for this part. I don't know why I was like, I'll just do it like this. Dumb. Alright, that should give me what I want here. It's tough. The silver lining is it keeps the game simpler to make. Now you just focus on interesting puzzles that help get the players get the control into their fingers. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, yeah, now we got a nice highlight. Now we got a nice highlight on the card preview that's consistent with the rest of the UI. It was just highlighting the outside, and I was like, that's wrong. Problem is, I think that will also appear on the discard. Yes, so we need a separate discard one. We need a separate discard one. Okay, that's easy. We're at the easy phase of the day here. Let's just make this caret bigger. 228. I'm gonna have to get going in a few minutes here. I want to do this part first. Okay, so what I want now is not the card back. I want the card front. I suppose one way to make people play your game more than once is to make it really hard to beat in one try. That can work. That can work. Emphasis on can. It sucks that this is one layer. Is it one layer? It is one layer, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so what I actually want to do is only... Well, I don't know how... I guess I should just put this on a different layer. So we'll take this over, make a new layer. Put this here. Oh, Lord, that did not do what I wanted it to. Oh, the portrait. Okay. Oh, that's great, actually. That makes it a lot better. I don't need another layer then. I'm trying to make the card highlights look right, which means respecting the shape inside them, the shape of them. So this one will be like one line around the outside. A couple easy ones here at the end of the day. It's nice. You're just not gonna have fail states. That's good. That helps. That definitely helps, LSG. Just make a cozy game. You're gonna have 2 modes for each level. A chill adventure mode. And a time trial. Okay, yeah, that should help. It definitely could help. What's going on here? Yeah, like this. This has been good. It's been good. I knew we weren't going to get very much done today, but I feel good. Hopefully, I know I'll be back late from the theater, but hopefully this will be a nice restful evening for me. I'm not going to try to do any work tonight when I get back. Try to catch up on sleep. Tomorrow is Friday. Do some good stuff. Do some good stuff around actions. Probably end up having to rewrite cards and card layouts and stuff, but we'll figure out how we're gonna model all that stuff. Should be good. Should be a good time. Yeah, this will be for the other side. So base card, back, highlight, sprite. This is way too long a name, but it's fine. Wait, why does it say export? I didn't want that. Now where do you suppose this is? Oh, wait. What? I made these already. Where the hell are they? Oh, that's embarrassing. That's deeply embarrassing. Well, that's what I get. Base card front. Highlight. Oh my god, I made this already. Okay. Well, rip. It's all a vehicle for music and vibes. Games are just an excuse to force people to listen to your music. That's very funny. That feels very Super Brothers sword and sorcery. All right, so why isn't this doing the thing that I want it to do then? If I've already implemented this, but where? Where did I do so? It's got to be up here. Oh, is it the fucking discard button itself? Oh, man. I am such a fool. It should work the way I want it to work now. So this, we get the nice text highlight for the deck. And then for the discard, yeah, we get a nice highlight of the inner portrait ring. I like that. I'm thinking about doing this for when you select card. I just need to figure out how to actually implement that. That's a bit of a trick. It's a bit of a trick to do. But I think I can manage. I think I can manage if I just overwrite the base card layout, which I guess I already have. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be that hard to do. The only real trick would be getting the card to be able to do it. Because the card is not an I haven't overwritten that class, but I guess I have to eventually. All right, well, that was fun. We got move, act buttons. We're getting, the UI is looking nice. The UI is looking good. We're happy with that. I gotta go get my teeth worked on here. But this has been a fun one. Appreciate everyone hanging out today. We'll be back tomorrow, so thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.